Naomi, we need your room. The voice echoed from down the hall, crisp and cold. It was her stepmother, Brenda. Not a trace of warmth. Just instruction. Please like and subscribe for more content like this. Naomi looked up from her dual-monitor setup. She'd been coding since dawn, fine-tuning real-time trading algorithms for her startup. "Excuse me," she asked. Brenda stepped into view. "Sasha's moving back in from grad school. She needs a proper space to set up her consulting base. Your room has the best internet signal." Brenda's eyes scanned Naomi's setup like it was just a mess, not a mission. "You'll be fine in the garage. We cleaned it out this morning." Naomi was 26. She'd been living quietly in her late grandfather's estate in Palo Alto, the home her father now shared with Brenda. They acted like Silicon Valley royalty, hosting fundraisers and bragging about Sasha, Brenda's daughter. Naomi worked remote as a quant analyst for a crypto hedge fund while building her own platform. Not flashy, but deeply focused. "The garage has no insulation," Naomi said quietly. Her father, Gerald, appeared behind Brenda. "Then maybe that's what you need," he said. "A wake-up call. Time to stop playing around with tech stuff and think about a real future." Naomi didn't need to ask what he meant. Like Sasha. Sasha, the favorite. The one with the MBA from Wharton, glossy resumes and zero clients, but still the family star. "I already have a job," Naomi said, her voice firm but calm. Her stepmother laughed lightly. "Playing the stock market from your laptop isn't a job." Naomi glanced around her room. Walls covered with graphs, neural nets, and market trend predictions. Her stepmother only saw clutter. "Sasha's doing real work," Brenda added. "She's going places." Naomi turned back to her code. "Fine," she said. "I'll go." Not because she gave up, but because she was done waiting for their approval. "You have until noon," Gerald said. "Her furniture's coming tomorrow." That made Naomi almost laugh. Because at noon tomorrow, Zavera, her fintech system, would go live. That night, as she boxed up her monitors and notebooks, her phone vibrated. An encrypted message from her CTO, Amir. "Launch protocol locked. Zavera goes live at 12 o'clock Pacific Standard Time." Naomi smiled. She could already see the ripple effect. For 3 years, she had designed and perfected a predictive algorithm, one that could read global financial markets like a weather pattern. What they thought was just a hobby had quietly evolved into something powerful. Zavera Technologies was more than a startup. It was a machine cloaked behind shell firms and legal walls, shielded from public view. While Gerald bragged to his friends about Sasha's empty consulting dreams, Naomi was building a platform that could outmaneuver Wall Street. The job they mocked was a decoy. The real operation lived in an unmarked high-rise downtown. Tomorrow, Zavera would unveil Zavera Pulse, its public platform, a tool designed not just to automate trading, but to expose outdated institutions and disrupt financial networks that kept people like her locked out. Then her phone buzzed again. Phase 1 complete. Acquisition of Trinity Capital finalized. Trinity, her family's bank. Trinity Capital was the same bank her father had used to fund Sasha's elite education and the family's latest luxury upgrades. The same bank that always seemed to have no room in the budget when Naomi asked for help with her first startup. Tomorrow morning, they would wake up to find that their beloved institution had changed hands, silently and completely. Naomi sealed the final cardboard box, just as Sasha's voice rang from down the hall. "Mom, should we go modern glam or coastal chic for Naomi's old room?" Her voice was light, careless. Naomi didn't answer. That room had been her sanctuary. The one they promised was hers for now, until someone more worthy came along. She remembered the graduation they skipped, choosing a wine tasting in Napa instead. She remembered maxing out credit cards to fund her launch, while Brenda posted about Sasha's entrepreneurial spirit. "Naomi," Brenda called again, interrupting her thoughts. "Don't forget to leave your house key. You won't be coming back." Naomi didn't argue. She placed the key gently on the desk, her last silent goodbye. They were right. She wasn't coming back. As she carried her final box out to her hybrid car, nothing flashy but reliable, she could hear laughter in the kitchen. They were already talking about curtains. This space should reflect real ambition, Brenda said. Naomi smiled to herself. They had no idea. Inside her car, Naomi opened her laptop. With one clean motion, she typed, "Initiate Tiger Protocol Authorization, Zavera Prime." The screen blinked. Protocol Tiger initiated. Full system execution in 8 hours. She closed the lid. Her car glided silently out of the driveway, leaving behind the people who had underestimated her for years. The next stop was her real home, Zavera HQ. The penthouse suite in the Arcadia Towers, one of San Francisco's most exclusive buildings. As the valet opened the garage and the concierge greeted her by name, Naomi stepped into the private elevator. Up here. She wasn't the disappointment. She was Ms. Naomi Bishop, CEO and founder. Her sleek home office pulsed with real-time global data streams. Zavera Pulse was seconds from launch. But this wasn't just about trading anymore. The platform she'd built could trace hidden financial flows and expose shell corporations, like the ones Gerald had used to quietly create trust funds for Sasha. Ones he pretended didn't exist when Naomi asked for help. A new alert pinged on her screen. Another secure message from Amir, audit flag triggered. Trinity's high-risk accounts under review. Naomi leaned back, her eyes fixed on the skyline. It was poetic. The same systems that had excluded her were now bowing to the code she wrote on a folding table in a freezing garage. Then her phone buzzed again. Family group chat. Dinner at Bellevue tomorrow to celebrate Sasha's new venture. Naomi, join us if you figured out where you're staying. Wear something nice. Naomi stared at the message for a moment. Bellevue, the same fine dining spot where they celebrated Sasha's milestones year after year, the same place where Naomi had once waited tables during college while they toasted without her. She typed a short reply. I'll be there. Then she opened a folder on her desktop. Project Homecoming. Inside it was everything. Evidence of years of financial favoritism, tax manipulation, and account transfers. All cross-referenced with Zavara's audit logs. Tomorrow wasn't just a launch. It was a reckoning. Ms. Bishop, her assistant's voice chimed through the intercom. The board is assembled for final launch briefing. Naomi stood, smoothing the fabric of her midnight blue blazer. Thank you, Leah. I'm on my way. She paused briefly at the mirror in the hallway. No more invisibility. No more being seen as a placeholder until Sasha's next win. She wasn't the backup plan anymore. She was the blueprint. As she entered the boardroom, her executive team rose in quiet respect. Screens lit up around the room, each displaying launch readiness for Zavera Pulse. Naomi took her place at the head of the table. The launch was seamless. Market reaction was immediate. Investors hailed the product as a game changer. Analysts on Bloomberg and CNBC scrambled to dissect the stealthy rise of Zavera Technologies, the unknown disruptor that had just shaken up financial tech. While headlines poured in, Naomi stayed focused. This wasn't about press. It was about precision. At 11:59 a.m., a new update came through from Amir. Tiger Protocol. All primary systems operational. Trinity Capital acquired. Ownership confirmed. She exhaled slowly. Just in time. Sasha's desk would be arriving at noon. Naomi wondered if it came with instructions for when your credit line vanished. That evening, Naomi arrived at Bellevue. She stepped out of her car, not in borrowed heels or last-minute makeup, but fully composed. Her deep emerald dress was structured and simple, her movements deliberate. The maitre d' greeted her with a bow. "Ms. Bishop," he said, recognizing her immediately. "Your usual table." She shook her head lightly. "Not tonight, Jerome. I'll be joining them." His eyes flicked toward the private dining room, where her family was already seated. Of course, he nodded. Naomi walked across the marble floors, each click of her heels louder than the last. This time, she wasn't arriving late, she was arriving changed. Inside the room, Sasha was mid-sentence. And the CEO said I have real director potential. I could even be running an entire region in 5 years. Naomi's father, Gerald, looked up briefly, more interested in the stock ticker on his phone. Naomi, Brenda said with a polite smile. You actually came. We already ordered, Gerald added. Naomi nodded, taking the seat farthest from the center. As always. Sasha glanced at her. So, where are you staying now? Found another garage. Naomi didn't respond. She was watching Gerald closely. He still hadn't noticed what had changed. I heard Trinity had a leadership shake-up, Naomi said calmly. Sasha raised an eyebrow. Trinity? That's Dad's bank. Gerald finally looked up. What shake-up? A server approached with champagne. Brenda reached into her purse. Let's get another bottle. On me. Naomi didn't speak. She already knew what was about to happen. The waiter returned moments later. Brows furrowed. I'm sorry, ma'am. Your card's been declined. That's impossible, Brenda snapped. Try again. He returned. 3 times, ma'am. Do you have another? Gerald sighed, pulling out his own. Same result. Sasha frowned and offered her corporate card. Naomi leaned back. That won't work either. All heads turned to Naomi. Gerald's voice was low, sharp. What do you mean it won't work? Naomi met his gaze, steady and unblinking. There's been a change in ownership at Trinity. As of midnight, all account activity is under new management. Brenda's face paled. What are you saying? Naomi leaned forward slightly. Protocol Tiger identified suspicious account activity, multiple hidden trusts, unusual transfers, creative tax shelters. Standard compliance response is a system-wide freeze. Gerald's jaw tightened. And how do you know this? Naomi's voice didn't rise. Because I built it. Zavera Technologies. The system you just tried to use, it's mine. Silence dropped like a curtain. Even Sasha, always quick with a smug quip, had nothing to say. That's absurd, she finally said. You're with some small-time startup. Naomi smiled. That was the cover. Zavera operates through dozens of firms globally. That little startup? Just one piece. We employ over 3,000 people across 15 countries. And as of today, we control your entire financial ecosystem. Brenda gripped her napkin like it might anchor her. But you're just... Naomi didn't let her finish. Just the girl you told to sleep in the garage. Just the one you never bet on. Naomi reached into her clutch and pulled out a sleek black card. The Zavera Prime logo shimmered faintly. She handed it to the waiter. Put everything they've ordered on me. In fact, every bill at this table for the past 5 years, I covered it. I bought this building 3 years ago. The waiter gave a respectful nod. Of course, Ms. Bishop. Gerald stared at her, his mouth slightly open. Naomi Bishop. She nodded. The same one who pitched an investment idea you dismissed. While you were tracking Sasha's press releases, I was building the system you're now locked out of. Sasha blinked rapidly. Wait, the Morgan Stanley deal, the merger. They're using Zavara's trading platform, Naomi said evenly. You'll be working under my infrastructure, assuming you're still there after the audit. Sasha's lips parted, but no words came. Naomi turned back to Gerald. Your accounts will remain frozen until our review is complete. Based on what we flagged already, I'd prepare for a call from the SSC by the weekend. Brenda's hand trembled as she reached for her glass. Naomi, sweetheart, can't we talk about this? We're family. Naomi stood. Her voice was calm, but unshakable. Family doesn't evict you for not being the favorite. Her gaze swept across them. Family doesn't skip your graduation to tour wine country. Family doesn't call your work a hobby while funneling trust funds into someone else's dream. She lifted her purse. Deep green, crocodile leather, understated elegance. Worth more than the sedan Gerald always bragged about. I built Zavera because you gave me no other choice. I learned to survive without your support. Now you'll learn to live without mine. Gerald's voice cracked with anger. You can't do this. Naomi paused, eyes cold. I already did. She turned to Sasha, who looked as if her world was slipping through her fingers. If you're looking for a place to stay, I hear the garage gets decent sunlight. Naomi walked out without another glance. Behind her, Brenda's panicked whispers, Gerald's rising voice, Sasha's silence, all melted into background noise. Her phone buzzed as she exited. A secure message from Amir. Protocol Tiger response. Historic. Zavera stock has tripled since market open. Naomi smiled to herself. The garage they forced her into? That was where Zavera began, where she typed the first line of code that changed everything. In the weeks that followed, the fallout was swift. The SEC launched a full investigation into Langston Equity Holdings, uncovering years of shady accounting. Gerald's firm lost its leadership contracts. Brenda's social invitations dried up like spilled wine on marble. Sasha's corporate title evaporated during a sudden restructuring. And Naomi? She stayed quiet. She didn't give interviews, didn't gloat online. She just kept building. Because true success isn't about proving people wrong. It's about doing the work no one thought you could, and doing it better than anyone else. People began to ask, how did it all start? Naomi always gave the same answer. In a garage. That's all they needed to know. Because while her family mocked her, she coded in the cold. While they posted brunch photos, she mapped financial ecosystems. While they ignored her, she built a global fintech empire. Not out of revenge, but out of clarity. Power doesn't need spotlight. It only needs purpose. And she had found hers long ago, when they pushed her aside to make space for someone more promising. One rainy Friday, Naomi passed the old estate again. It looked smaller now, quieter. She didn't stop. There was nothing left there for her. Her real home was in the skyline, in the servers, in the system she had designed to outlast the people who once underestimated her. That night, back at Arcadia Towers, she poured herself a single glass of wine, not to celebrate, but to mark a chapter closed. On her screen, another encrypted update came in. Zavera had just secured another multi-billion-dollar partnership. Her team cheered from across time zones. Some were new hires. Others had been with her since the garage days, when their desks were milk crates and faith. Naomi smiled softly. She sent a short reply. Onward. She didn't need anyone to clap for her. She wasn't doing this for applause. She was doing it for every overlooked voice. Every builder who started with scraps. Every young girl who was told she wasn't the right kind of bright. This victory, quiet, undeniable, was for them. So when people ask her what the secret was, she always tells the truth. Sometimes the best thing they can do is doubt you. And the best thing you can do is rise anyway. Naomi Bishop wasn't the golden child. She wasn't the one with the perfect grades, perfect press releases, perfect LinkedIn photos. She was the one in the garage. And now, she was the architect of everything they thought they owned. Her final message to the world? Build, even when they don't believe in you. Especially then.